Hello and welcome to another episode of Personal Injury Today, where we talk about the hot topics to help attorneys just like you understand their clients' cases better and come to a fair settlement. Today's episode, we're going to talk about how to win the hearts of the jury. We are here with Dr. Brad Poppie. He's going to fill us in on some very key tips and some strategies to do just that. We are here today with Dr. Brad Poppie. He's the founder of Injury Reporting Consultants, and he's helping personal injury attorneys just like yourself resolve their cases through evidence-based medical analysis and reporting. Welcome, Dr. Brad.
Thank you.
All right, so today we're going to help shed some light on some key things that attorneys can do to help add some excitement in the courtroom and help gain the jury's attention. So why do jury members kind of gravitate towards some experts and not others?
I think some experts come across as too much of an expert. Yes, they need to be the expert and be credible and competent on the stand, of course. But a lot of times they can't break down the medical jargon into easily understandable terms that the jury can understand. Jury members, they're just average, ordinary people. I mean, some may have some medical background, but chances are they don't. And or are they going to understand a very high level type of a surgery or something that maybe the surgeon did? So like, here's an example. If the surgeon's up there talking about the surgery they did on the client's wrist, and he gets up there and says, yeah, I perform an open reduction internal fixation of the left distal, radius.
It just goes over their heads.
It's like deer in the headlights, so they have no idea. Versus, in order to repair the multiple fracture site in this client's wrist, I had to put in an 8-inch titanium plate that's held together by 12 2-inch screws.
And now the jury member can actually grasp that in their mind. They can kind of see what that expert is talking about.
It's impactful. Yeah. I mean, a jury gets that. Wow, titanium rods and screws and plates and wow. But open reduction internal fixation, what's that? Might as well be speaking, foreign language.
Exactly. Perfect. Thanks. That's very helpful. If you are getting some value from this video, please make sure that you share it with other attorneys as well as your clients. Like this video and then subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so that you can be updated on any other additional videos and content with Dr. Brad Poppie. So how does the attorney help in this situation? How do they bring some excitement to the courtroom, but also how do they make sure that their experts are still credible?
Let's face it, trial is boring. I mean, it is, especially think about from the jury's perspective. Some of these cases are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-day trials. And those jury members are there for the entire time, for all day. And they're just sitting there listening, to testimony from different experts. Well, again, these jury members, they didn't sign up to be there. It's not like, well, gosh, I just can't wait to go to trial and, and go sit there for a week. So it becomes boring. It's a marathon. It's an endurance test to keep the jury's mind focused so they can essentially make the verdict. They're the ones that decide that. So how do we get them engaged? Obviously, you're not talking with the jury. It's not like you're having a communication with them, but how do we keep them interested? So in my experience, some of the best trials that I've been involved in are the ones where the attorney will actually ask the judge to allow me to come down, get out of my seat, and go down in front of the jury and demonstrate something.
That's perfect.
Movement creates energy. All right. So as opposed to just the jury looking, right at the expert and just sitting there, listening, by the way, I've had jury duty before. And at that time, I've seen 2 jury members actually fall asleep. It was like it was one of those things. So how do we keep them engaged? So getting the expert out of the chair, walking them down in front of the jury. So example, a couple months ago I was in trial, and this particular client had an impairment we call decreased proprioceptive and kinesthetic awareness. Okay. Now, to a jury member, what does that even mean? They have no idea. So let's get Dr. Poppie down in front of the jury to actually demonstrate. So what it really means, it's kind of a decreased mind-foot or mind-leg connection. Okay. And it happens after we have some sort of a traumatic injury or a post-surgical type candidate. When they lose that connection, it increases the susceptibility of re-injuring that limb or that leg, okay? So anyway, I was demonstrating what that meant, and the jury starts to know, okay, yeah, they're connecting. It's one of those type of thing, all right?
Let me ask you this, when you're demonstrating, and maybe in this specific instance, is it, are you pointing to a visual? Are you acting it out? What are some ways that they can help demonstrate?
Absolutely, yes to all the above. Sometimes it's a demonstration. If I'm demonstrating something that, like example, one of the tests that I do on a functional capacity evaluation, that really will help drive home to the jury, hey, this is what they go through. Let me demonstrate 3 or 4 of the tests so they can kind of wrap their brain around, okay, I get it. Or maybe it's a flip chart and I'm writing stuff down, you know, key important topics, check mark, or whatever I'm trying to drive home. I think another super, super important thing I wanted to bring up here is also becoming a good storyteller and using analogies that the jury can relate to. So here's an example. Let's say that the client was in a catastrophic injury, or they sustained a catastrophic injury, and they're in a wheelchair. They can't walk anymore. Paraplegic, quadriplegic, whatever it may be. And while the expert, talking about the impairments and disability, sure, it's apparent that, yeah, this person can't walk anymore, which is huge, it's detrimental. But again, kind of mind shifting the jury to understand, well, yeah, I see the person in a wheelchair, but how does it affect them? So an effective type of an analogy would be like, as you can see, this client, they're never going to be able to walk their daughter down the aisle when she gets married. That's impactful, okay? Or the person that has a shoulder injury. And yeah, while it's apparent, they can't move their shoulder very well, when she gets older, she's never going to be able to hold her grandkids.
That's very impactful.
That completely changes the dynamics in the courtroom, because chances are all those jury members can either A, relate to that, maybe personally, and or a family member or friend that's going through something like that. So it really drives home kind of the quality of life issues. Again, it just breaks up the monotony of just sitting there and this whole thing, because it happens. It's a marathon, and not everyone's equipped for a marathon.
Right. And not all experts are equipped to testify in front of a jury. Are there other tips, like as far as eye contact and just being warm in your personality and presentation that you recommend?
You need to, again, you're the expert. You have to be credible. You have to know what you're talking about. You have to be professional, of course, but it's also being real. It's almost just like you're just having the jury members are just friends. You're just sitting around chit-chatting, basically. You have to just have that rapport. That's how you develop rapport. And not come across as though you're someone that's way higher status than them, but more just, hey, we're just having a conversation here, per se.
It's really helpful and things that we need to keep in the back of our mind and remember. So if you're an attorney watching, hopefully that was helpful for you to help coach your experts a little bit, to be more personable and to bring a little bit more excitement into the courtroom so that the jury is not falling asleep. If you enjoyed this video, again, like, share, and subscribe, and then reach out to Dr. Brad. He's helpful and will be open to talking to you about your case. Reach out to IRC today and stay tuned for the next episode.